Hello once again, friends, and welcome to DEKB7QHC. I'm going to continue my talk on contact health, as I mentioned in the previous episode on contact bounce. Contact bounce is something that we can't generally control, but that we can compensate for in the form of snubbers. Or software. Software does a job fine without any additional hardware, but for equipment back there like that that is time critical in the switch turn on to the nearest 10,000th of 10 milliseconds, let's say. That's generally about the time of the contact bounce, is about 10 milliseconds. Some are longer. Well, it varies between switches, of course. And you can measure it if you have an oscope. However, we're here to talk about contact health. And what does that mean? Well, I'm sure that a significant portion of my viewers have worked on their own car and have gapped spark plugs and adjusted points. You might have even filed them. And that's where we're going to, well, we're going to go there delicately, because most modern contacts have are special metallic coatings to suppress oxidation. Oxidation products will layer up on the contact face and present an impedance against full matching of the faces. In other words, it'll cock it slightly or lift it slightly so that we don't have a constant contact area, surface area. And in that regards, you don't want to file the, well, if you have this special plating and it's doing its job, we move on. However, a lot of this equipment back here doesn't have that kind of treatment. And in that regards, yeah, you might want to file the contacts, but you have to go very gently. And there's special tools for this. This is, I would suggest you search Amazon for a set of jeweler's files. And even those can be fairly vicious to a contact surface. Now, one of the things that has worked for me over the years in many situations, and I've been on the bench to a lot of dirty contacts, and that's simple. Oh, here, let me reach in. It's not simple here in a seated position. Right here, good old dollar bill. This dollar bill, the surface has just the right roughness to it, that if you have contacts and you slip it through the contacts and just draw the bill out while the contacts are closed, that's it. You'll generally see a little dark streak on both sides, or maybe just one side, depending upon how the contacts operate. One side will erode and the other will have a deposit. This will clean it quite nicely. It's worked for me for years. Another contact cleaner. These are abrasive forms of maintaining your contact health. And another such is this is going to reach back, and you might even. This is back from the day of typewriters, if you had to make a correction and erase what was you've typed on the paper, by hand that is. There were these pencil style with a little brush at the end erasers, and if I recall correctly, they were kind of a pinkish color. The handle, the stem. The grit on that rubber compound is just enough to clean metallic surfaces for PC boards, and was at one time let's see, authorized for NASA in repairing and prepping metal surfaces on circuit boards. I don't know if it's still authorized now or even suggested, but that equipment back there is certainly as old as, well, let's see, the lunar missions. So, equipment back there, it's fine. I would say anything that was later, still fine. However, if we're in the modern era, such as it is right now, you might want to use another item from back then, a product that's still on the market that has undergone some various formulation shifts to a spray. But back when I used it, it was just a liquid formula, and it was called Cramaline Red. There was Cramaline Red and Cramaline Blue. The red was the cleaner. The blue was a coat, a monomolecular coat. So that means one molecule thick over the face of your contacts. First, you'd use the red, and I would often just take a toothpick, dip it into the bottle, close the bottle, and just paint the surface of the contact. And get out a dollar bill and, well, no. I'd use a cotton swab. I don't want to use anything abrasive. We've moved beyond abrasives. So the Cramaline is kind of a wash, but a very, very thin, delicate wash, and a Q-tip will take away the residuals, the residue. The blue, again, little bottle of, I think it was 2 ounces, will last you decades. Believe me, this is a one-time purchase that will go to you with you to the grave. And there's other products certainly, and they probably all work just as well, but this is my recommendation from experience. So I think that covers it for contact health. How do you get access to those contacts? Well, if you can't, like if it's in a sealed reed switch, well, this is a little glass envelope, something like this with two contacts inside. Of course, they'd be well inside here, and this would be much smaller, probably about as big as the end of this pin. Those contacts pull together by magnetics, and they bounce a lot. So you can't get in there, of course. And as it's sealed, it's already has the oxidation problem has been removed. However, you can certainly get erosion from stressing the contacts. Other styles take a little more challenging in reaching them, like in frame relays. Some are very well exposed, easy to manage, easy to maintain. So there's a variety of styles of switches, again, like those back there. And some of them require no maintenance whatever, and those are the rotary switches that, let's see if I can, that slide through. And this jaw is typically very close to being closed. Well, it's just a single piece of metal, another piece of metal going between the two jaws. The force of the jaws is sufficient to both wipe, clean, and present enough pressure for a good contact interface. You might use a little Cramaline on those to reduce the oxidation potential. But aside from that, there's a lot of what's called wiping switches. So they're self-cleaning. And of course, if they self-clean, that means there's some debris somewhere. Again, the Cramaline or a spray, something of that nature, whatever you find. Make sure that doesn't interfere with the operation of the switch nor impede the flow of current on a closed switch for that matter. Kremlin, no problem. So I'm not going to turn this into a commercial for Kremlin. I can't even find my old bottle. But then I'm not cleaning switches anymore. I'm talking to you. And I've put a lot of my bench time behind me. But we'll do more contact discussion because there's more to say about switches and contacts and the troubles they might bring to makers. Makers, are you listening? Because those contacts, like I said, can introduce issues if you're measuring very small currents or very small voltages. But we'll get into that later. So I'll extend my 73s to all and hope to see you in a future episode.